Black Panther was an incredible movie with great characters. Sure, there was the Black Panther himself, T'Challa, and his Wakanda-loving associates, but then we also had an amazing villain known as Killmonger. Fans were devastated when he didn't make it at the end of the movie, but was this really the end for him? If it's your first time visiting us, be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with CBR and ring that bell to become a part of our notification squad so you never miss a video. But before we get into this interesting Erik Killmonger theory, have you ever seen our friends at Screen Rant? They have tons of information about your favorite movies, both in the MCU and far beyond it, so check them out. Without further ado, let's get into this crazy Black Panther theory.
This is it for you, cousin.
Compelling. Let's start out by talking about what made Killmonger such a compelling villain in the first place. Sure, he's a powerful and able fighter, but that alone isn't enough to make him a compelling character. Even looking at his fellow Marvel villains, it's clear audiences like heroes who are complicated. Loki is a great villain, not only because he's played by the charismatic and incredibly handsome Tom Hiddleston, but because he isn't just two-dimensional. He has a complex relationship with his brother Thor and his father Odin, and these relationships impact his actions and make us have sympathy for him. It's hard not to have sympathy for Killmonger as well. His father was murdered by his uncle, and he was abandoned by the rest of his family. Instead of living as a prince in Wakanda, he was left alone in unfortunate circumstances. Despite this, he managed to defeat his cousin T'Challa, who had been raised as a prince in opulent circumstances, in single combat. And while he went about things the wrong way, there was no denying he had some good points. His actions even helped convince T'Challa to stop keeping Wakanda a secret. Killmonger was such an incredible villain, it would be just a waste to limit him to one movie. After all, imagine how devastating it would have been if Loki didn't return after the first Thor movie.
Y'all sitting up here comfortable. Must feel good.
Precedents. In many movie franchises, it's common for people or creatures to come back after we thought they were done for. Thor even speaks about this in Avengers Infinity War, when he tells Peter Quill that his brother Loki has been killed before. And speaking of Infinity War, that's probably the biggest reason that we think Killmonger could come back. Now, we don't blame you for being brokenhearted when Thanos activated the Infinity Gauntlet and caused half of our beloved heroes to disappear. But do you think they're really gone for good? Unless Marvel is tired of making huge amounts of money, we're guessing that they're going to find their way home one way or another. In comic books in general, the deaths of characters are notoriously impermanent, leaving hope that this isn't the last time we've seen Killmonger. Even mere mortal Batman has cheated death over and over again. He's faked his own death or come back from the beyond with the help of a Lazarus pit. There's a strong precedent at play which makes us think Killmonger may be coming back as well.
The world's gonna start over, and this time we're on top.
Time travel. Not only does being dead not have to be permanent in the MCU, but there are many ways people can be saved. In Deadpool 2, we saw the Merc with a mouth and his pal Cable go back in time to change several things. Among them was saving Deadpool's partner Vanessa and the well-meaning but powerless Peter, and Cable is far from the only character with time travel powers in the MCU. Not only do we have a wide variety of pre-established time manipulators to choose from, but there's always the possibility that someone else who can alter time will show up. One fan theory has to do with the very end of Ant-Man and the Wasp. We saw our hero Ant-Man trapped in the quantum realm with seemingly no way of escaping, but could he use the quantum realm to travel through space and time? It's definitely a possibility, and it seems like a likely one at that. After all, since we know Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will be coming out at some point, there has to be some sort of time manipulation. Then there's also Captain Marvel, who has powers yet to be seen, and will likely play a huge part in defeating Thanos and rescuing the Infinity Stones. With time travel so imminent, Killmonger returning could make a lot of sense.
What's up? I never yielded! And as you can see, I am not dead!
Confirmation. So we now know that it wouldn't only be possible, but relatively simple for some sort of time magic to bring back Killmonger. But what if he never died in the first place? The scene showing his alleged death at the end of Black Panther was certainly meaningful. T'Challa realized his father had killed his uncle and had a better understanding of the events that shaped the life of Killmonger. Even after he defeated him and took over Wakanda, T'Challa tried to save his life. Instead, Killmonger insisted he would rather perish than live out the rest of his life imprisoned. We saw him pull out the spear, which impaled him, and then the camera pans back from the scene. Since death can be so tentative in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we usually like to have some sort of reassurance that it's permanent. We've seen many characters take their last breath on screen or see their bodies destroyed to make sure that they won't come back. Black Panther was a major Marvel movie, which took tons of time and attention to detail to put together. Not showing Killmonger take his final breath was likely not an accidental oversight, maybe hinting at his return. This little bit of ambiguity is enough to give Killmonger fans hope that he'll return.
It's about 2 billion people all over the world that looks like us, but their lives are a lot harder. Wakanda has the tools to liberate them all.
Technology. One major takeaway from Black Panther is that Wakanda is a far more advanced civilization than any in the known MCU. Not only are they rich with powerful vibranium, but they also have incredible technology. T'Challa's sister, Shuri, is seen developing all sorts of different devices which are incredibly powerful. Some of them are weapons, like T'Challa's Black Panther costume, but she does have impressive healing technologies as well. We saw this in action during Black Panther when Everett Ross was brought to Wakanda on the brink of death. Now, Ross is a mere mortal who had been shot in the spine. You don't need to be a doctor to know that that kind of wound is fatal more often than not. Considering how powerful Wakandan technology is, there's no doubt Shuri could have easily revived Killmonger at the end of Black Panther. Did T'Challa really sit by while his cousin bled to death by his side, or did he do everything in his power to save him?
Bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships, because they knew death was better than bondage.
The ocean. The scene in which Killmonger supposedly dies in Black Panther was incredibly meaningful, but as far as parting words go, it's hard to imagine any more poignant than those uttered by Killmonger. He said, "Bury me in the ocean with my ancestors who jumped from ships because they knew death was better than bondage." We get chills just thinking about it, but some people think these words weren't meant to be his last at all. In fact, some fans think that they were a hint pointing towards where Killmonger would go next. After all, if T'Challa did decide to save him, he probably wouldn't want to drag him to Shuri's lab and make a big spectacle. Instead, he could have interred him somewhere else, even somewhere subaquatic, and whether he was dropped into the sea after he perished or kept there in prison, this would be a great chance for him to meet up with another Marvel character. We all know that DC has Aquaman, played by Jason Momoa, so it's not inconceivable that Marvel would want to introduce their own aquatic-themed superhero, and this would be a fantastic opportunity.
You got all this security in here watching me ever since I walked in, but you ain't checking for what you put in your body.
Namor. People who aren't comic book fans often act as if Aquaman is the only superhero with ties to the ocean, but we know better. And there's one character we could definitely see interacting with Killmonger if he ends up being tossed in the ocean, alive or dead. Namor is the son of a human sea captain and a princess of Atlantis. He possesses superhuman strength, the ability to fly, and a plethora of other powers. Oh, yeah, and at one point in the comics, he possessed their version of the Time Stone, which was called the Time Gem. This nifty little device meant that he could control the past, present, and future. It was once sitting at the bottom of the ocean before Namor helped Thor take it, and we could certainly imagine Namor possessing it at some point in the next Black Panther or Avengers movie. Besides his magical items and powerful abilities, Namor has had contact with the Black Panther and other members of Wakanda in the comic books. It's not too out of line to think that they might meet up on the big screen at some point. Namor has had many reincarnations over the years, but has never been a cookie-cutter good guy. We've seen him depicted anywhere from an anti-hero to a hostile invader out for vengeance. Needless to say, he and Killmonger would have a lot to talk about.
I can see you. Okay, I can see you.
Klaw. Killmonger wasn't the only character we saw meet their doom in Black Panther. We got to see Andy Serkis portray the role of Ulysses Klaw, although his character ultimately didn't survive the film. Serkis is a huge fan favorite and has portrayed some iconic characters throughout the years, but many people hoped Klaw would be returning from the grave after the events of Black Panther. Sadly, our hopes on that front were dashed. Executive producer Nate Moore released a statement confirming that Klaw is really and truly deceased and not coming back. He added that part of the plan for Klaw as a character was for him to come in strong and burn out quickly. You can't blame us for hoping he would come back, since he has an interesting character played by a talented actor who had a much larger role in the comics. But Marvel made it clear that we won't be seeing Klaw again. The same hasn't been said about Killmonger, though.
I don't need a suit to kill you.
Absence. At the end of Avengers Infinity War, we saw many of our beloved characters turn to dust. Among those was T'Challa, who we saw fade before our very eyes. Now, we assume he'll be coming back at some point in time, but the fact remains that right now, he's gone. That means the mantle of the Black Panther is up for grabs, and we've seen Killmonger take his place before. Not only did this happen in the Black Panther movie, but it happened in the comic books as well. In Black Panther, Killmonger defeated T'Challa, who was then tossed off a waterfall. Luckily for our hero, he was found and revived by M'Baku, and ended up making a triumphant return. In the comic books, after being defeated by T'Challa, Killmonger is found and revived as well, but this time by the Mandarin of Iron Man fame. After this happened, T'Challa appeared to perish, and Killmonger assumed the role of Black Panther. With T'Challa now officially missing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it would make sense that someone will have to step in. Killmonger has done this both in the movie and the comic books, so we wouldn't be surprised to see it happen once more. We certainly hope Killmonger is still alive. If you can't get enough of Black Panther, check out our friends over at Screen Rant. Their video titled 25 behind-the-scenes Black Panther moments that change everything will let you in on so many secrets about the movie. In fact, they have all movies covered, including the MCU, and so much more. Make sure you check them out and leave them a like.
Nah, I'm your king.
There you have it. Do you think Erik Killmonger is coming back? Do you want him to come back? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to CBR for more videos just like this one. Thanks for watching.